Okay, welcome to my stream, everyone. I made vegetable soup today, and I'm thinking of some my vegetable soup. Okay, my vegetable soup. I put macaroni in my vegetable soup. Oh, darn it. Okay, macaroni. I've got this soup mix, and I'll show it to you. I put a can of diced tomatoes, onion, diced tomatoes, a can of diced tomatoes, onions, and a little bit of ketchup. And I've got hamburger, like half a pound of hamburger, and or a or a fourth of a third of a pound of hamburger. So, and this is my vegetable soup mix. Made quite a bit. You put macaroni in your vegetable soup. It makes it go a lot further. And this is good. This is the good stuff. This is the best stuff. This is the best vegetable soup. So I wanted to show you guys. It's at the Kroger, and then you out west you may have the same brand at your something similar at your Ralph's grocery store. Out west they have a Ralph's, but you see these are the things that come in a vegetable soup mix: carrots, potatoes, super sweet. We have corn, green beans, green peas, okra. It's really nice. Onions. So I put my own onions in here too. I've got a yellow onion, Vidalia onion. And so this is what I put in it. And a diced tomatoes. And so anyway, and usually when I eat my vegetable soup, I'll put a little bit of soy sauce in it. I'm going to go out and show you the camper, my truck camper. Just about finished with the graphics, removing the graphics. So, I got rid of the graphics, but I wanted to show you what I did to it. So, I've touched up the paint on it, so you can see it looks pretty smooth. So, you can see it looks pretty good. I'm thinking about making it into a tiny house. Starting in the front here, there'll be a metal roof, a house roof on here to make sure they'll have wood siding on it, but in the future maybe. So anyway, there's a guy named Henry David Thoreau. He lived on Walden Pond. I think it's in Massachusetts. And he had, there's two propane tanks that have to be filled. Yeah, so anyway, Henry David Thoreau. He lived on Walden Pond. He had some property there. He built a cabin, 10 by 15. And the hermits, or the people who like solitude, people just like to live in solitude. I think more and more that that's me. Travel is good. Travel is good, but you know, the an RV or a tiny house is a good way to achieve your solitude in life because you don't have to be anywhere you don't want to be. When you own your tiny house, you work, but you don't work as much. You don't have to. But you can more likely achieve your solitude. Henry David Thoreau's cabin. And I love this tiny house. If I get a travel trailer, I might turn it into a tiny house. Because I can travel, but I really don't have to. Here's the inside of Henry David Thoreau's cabin on Walden Pond. He wrote a book. See, that's how you spell Thoreau. He wrote a book called On Walden Pond, or whatever. On Walden Pond. Emerson and Thoreau. There was Ralph Waldo Emerson. His cabin is really nice. Henry David Thoreau's cabin. I like it a lot. See, that's the way I would like for my tiny house to look. 10 by 15. So, and there's another guy that was a hermit. He lived for 60 years. And this is what gave me the idea to get a truck camper. Is that, this man named Kitchener McDonald, Willard Kitchener McDonald, in Canada, he was a deserter in World War II because he objected to war. And so he went out in the woods and built a log cabin that was 7 feet by 8 feet. Just a tiny 7 by 8 cabin. But Kitchener McDonald, and he built it was just now here he is. Now Willard's cabin, Willard Kitchener McDonald's cabin is only 7 feet by 8 feet or something like that. It was just an old man, Willard, the hermit of Gully Lake. And I'm going to read about it. See, it's not him. He lived to be an old man. And that's what Willard Kitchener McDonald wanted to do. Here's his cabin. Just 7 feet by 8 feet is all his cabin was. And he lived in it himself. So I just thought I would tell you this. And it's nice. He lived in his cabin. And I thought that if it's 7 feet by 8 feet, that's the size of a truck camp. My truck camper, 8.5 feet, plus the cab over. So if that old man can live in it for 60 years, it can be a truck camper can be a cabin when it's not on the truck, or it can be a tiny house when it's on it. Is that ready? Mm-hmm. Basically, that truck camper can be a cabin, a tiny house when it's not on the truck. But when it's on the truck, it can be like a van. You can boondock in parking lots like a van. Like Elvis Travels and Coach 9000 series, you can boondock just like a van. Because if it's in a single parking place, when you have a truck camper. And then you can take it off the truck, and if you have it fixed to look like a tiny house, you have an instant tiny house. So really, you have a tiny house and Willard's cabin was, I don't think it should, basically a tiny house, I don't think it should be disqualified from being considered a real tiny house because it fits in the back of a truck. Because Willard's cabin was 8 by 7, and it was a tiny house, and he was a tiny house dweller for 60 years. So I really think a hermit is a good thing to be. I really think it's a good thing to be a hermit. Have your solitude. Be yourself. It's okay to travel and meet people, but you got to come away. You've got to, come away from society. You got to be yourself and just get away from the stresses that mess with you. So, okay, this is about Henry David Thoreau's cabin. And this is a little short video. So, and there's another hermit. Named the Fort Fisher hermit, that wasn't a complete hermit because he met a lot of people. He lived in a bunker down by Fort Fisher, North Carolina, down on the beach. And then also there was the North Pond hermit. The North Pond hermit, he went into the woods in 1986. And this is something that Street Life can maybe, he's heard of. And this was his camp in the woods for 27. What's wrong? 27 years, you know, no eat or anything. In the woods for 27 years. I'll come back later this evening and we'll talk about hermits, okay? I think the hermit life is good. I'd like to have some fellow hermits in here in the chat. So if you're a hermit, you know, I might change my channel to that. Joni Portwood the Hermit. Because that's what it's about. Living life as a hermit. You know, that's part of the reason I was inspired by Elvis Travels. Coats and people. I mean, it's about having a tiny house of your own that belongs to you, no question asked. Just like the Elvis Travels talked about bug out vehicles, Gary. You know, your RV is your homeless insurance policy. And obviously, if you go to work every day and work 50 hours a week until you're 70 years old, then obviously you don't have to have an RV or a tiny house. You've got a stable job, but Coach not. Can I see something? Hold on. It's good to work hard. It's good to earn money. Nice to see you, Coach 9100. Nice to see you in the house today. It's good to work hard and to. I don't mean being inspired by Elvis Travels, meaning that you beg and stuff like that. I mean that you're inspired by the van life, you know. Yeah. Hello, 90s Grunge Rock. Nice to see you. You're inspired by, like maybe if you got fired from your job. Or maybe you had a nervous breakdown. I don't know. You can work part time enough to sustain yourself. But I like to see people, but being a hermit is somehow. And that street life has hurt this guy. Of course, he stole to sustain himself, and that's what I don't agree with. Yeah, 90s grunge rock. It's not too cold down here. It actually feels pretty good down here. Baby, what is it, honey? What is it, Molly Jane? What is it? Hold on, baby. What is it? What do you want, little one? Anyway. So, yeah, I might call it Joni Portwood the Hermit. The Hermit. Let's see if I can find a picture of what this guy looks like. They even wrote songs about him. Mm-hmm. That's what he looked like on the left in 1986. And that's what he looked like after when he was 47. After 27 years in the woods, they caught him for stealing, put him in jail, throw him. Yeah, that's true, Coates. There are a lot of places to go. Yeah, they're my lifeline. You're right about that. Get out there and see the world and a lot of things to see. I'd like to go to Pennsylvania or Massachusetts and see Henry David Thoreau's cabin. Have you ever been there, Coates? Have you ever been to Henry David Thoreau's cabin in the woods? It's a his Walden Woods is like a tourist attraction now. We are walking. Mm-hmm. Henry David Thoreau. But that's something you can see too, nature and playing. I'd like to see the RV Hall of Fame, Coates. I'd like that someday. Maybe someday I'll go up there. Maybe someday I'll go to it. Yeah. Yeah, the RV Hall of Fame, that's really neat. There's a lot of nice RVs. Ashland, Kentucky, I've got family there in Ashland. So my mom's family come from there. I've never been there that much. I've been to Ashland, but not too much. I think that Ironton, Ohio, is that what's right across the water? I guess that's what's the bridges that go over the Ohio River. I do too. But I would love to have had a boat, have a boat to go down the Ohio River. That would be my second best way to live a non-traditional life would be to live in a boat. Oh, that sounds good, Coach. It's not, yeah. I noticed they had a truck camper there. It was like a whatever that was, what kind of truck camper that was, but they had a truck camper there in Elkhart in that museum. I think it was a Holiday Rambler. Yeah, 90s grunge rock. My family that live up there, the Clark family, Clark with an E at the end. That's my mom's family. Do you know any of them? Any of those people? Clark with an E at the end. Anyway, but there are plenty of places to go in national parks and stuff like that. Anyway, so my little dog, she is part Shih Tzu and part Chihuahua, I think. Molly Jane, you're beautiful and good. Beautiful creature, four-legged people. Yes. I call them four-legged people. Four-legged people. Molly's a four-legged person. Anyway. Oh, Jones, okay. Yeah, so yeah. Anyway. You have it? No, it's in there. No, it's not. Yeah, it's in there. It's sitting right there. Hello. Anyway. Oh yeah, Coates, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys later. I'm going to watch this little thing of Henry David Thoreau, and we will catch you on the flip side. Like, share, and subscribe. Join the revolution. And I'll see you where the sun don't shine.